You may recall how, after introducing the epsilon delta definition of continuity, we were able to prove some nice things about combinations of continuous functions. Now that we know what uniformly continuous functions are, link in the description if you need to review, it's natural to ask about combinations of uniformly continuous functions and whether or not those are uniformly continuous. So today we'll answer these questions, assuming that f and g are uniformly continuous functions defined on a common domain A. We'll ask, is their sum uniformly continuous? What about their product? What about their quotient, assuming that the denominator function, g of x, is non-zero? And what about their composition, f of g of x? Assuming, of course, that the range of g is a subset of their common domain A, so that the composition makes sense. You should pause the video here and give these questions a try. I'm assuming you're familiar with uniform continuity and some basic examples and non-examples, but again, there's a link in the description, and if you just need a quick look at the definition, here it is for your convenience. Getting into the solution, beginning with part 1, the answer is yes. If f and g are uniformly continuous, adding them does not cause any problems. The sum is still uniformly continuous, and we should prove that. So let's take epsilon greater than 0. Of course, since f and g are uniformly continuous, there must exist a delta 1 and a delta 2, so that as long as x and y are within delta 1 and delta 2 of each other, f of x and g of x will satisfy the condition for uniform continuity. And see how this works out in our proof. Of course, we have to consider the difference between f plus g of x and f plus g of y, and we need to show that the distance between f plus g of x and f plus g of y can be made arbitrarily small. Now, the steps we take here are distributing the negative and rearranging, so that minus f of y is placed with f of x, and minus g of y is placed with g of x. At this point, of course, we can apply the triangle inequality. We know that the sum of these two things, in absolute value bars, must be less than or equal to the sum of those two things in absolute value bars individually. And now we know that f and g are uniformly continuous functions, so f of x minus f of y in absolute value bars, well, as long as we take delta 1 to be sufficiently small, that can be made less than epsilon over 2. Same thing with g of x minus g of y. Since g is uniformly continuous, this difference, as long as we make delta 2 sufficiently small, this distance can be less than epsilon over 2. So the idea is make delta 1 however small it needs to be, so that this is less than epsilon over 2. Make delta 2 however small it needs to be, so that this is less than epsilon over 2. And then the delta that we actually use for f plus g is just the minimum of delta 1 and delta 2. As long as the absolute value of x minus y is less than that minimum, then indeed the absolute value of f of x plus g of x minus f of y plus g of y will be less than epsilon. Hence, by definition, f plus g of x is uniformly continuous. All right, part 2 is the product, f times g uniformly continuous. Not necessarily. For a simple counterexample, consider the identity function. If f of x and g of x are both equal to x, well, we know that's just a line, x, that's uniformly continuous, but certainly f of x times g of x, that is not uniformly continuous. That's one of our most basic counterexamples to uniform continuity. This product would be x squared. That's defined on the real numbers, an unbounded set, and so for x squared on the real numbers, we would not have uniform continuity, and we've previously discussed that fact. X squared gets arbitrarily steep as you go further and further along in the parabola, so no uniform continuity there. Here's part 3, is the quotient f of x over g of x uniformly continuous? Assuming that g of x is non-zero, the answer is no, and again, we can define f and g to get a simple counterexample. Consider f of x equals 1 and g of x equals x, where x is a positive real number. 1 and x are both just straight lines. They're uniformly continuous, but the reciprocal function, 1 over x is not uniformly continuous. Those slopes get arbitrarily steep as we approach the y-axis from the right. So this would be a counterexample that is not uniformly continuous. Part 4 is our one other affirmative. The answer is yes, the composition is uniformly continuous. The idea here with the proof is pretty straightforward. We know that f is uniformly continuous, so as long as we could make the inputs x minus y sufficiently close, then we could make those outputs f of x minus f of y sufficiently close. Now in this case, since it's a function composition, the inputs aren't really x and y. The input into f is g of x and g of y, but we know that g is uniformly continuous as well. So we know that we can make g of x and g of y as close as we need to by making x and y sufficiently close. So we say, hey look, f of x is uniformly continuous. So we know there exists some positive delta 1, so that as long as x and y are within delta 1 of each other, then their images under the function f are within epsilon of each other. Then we deal with g. Certainly, since g is uniformly continuous, there must exist some positive real number delta 2, so that if x and y are within delta 2 of each other, well, g of x and g of y will be within that number delta 1 of each other. Of course, we want g of x and g of y to be within delta 1 of each other because that's what we're plugging in to f in this function composition. So if g of x and g of y are within delta 1 of each other, well, that basically gets us back to this case, where the uniform continuity of f assures us that f of g of x and f of g of y will be within epsilon of each other, thus establishing the uniform continuity of this composition. So combinations of uniformly continuous functions don't work quite as nicely as combinations of continuous functions. You can see that there's definitely some room to lose uniform continuity, but at least in the case of summation, and thus subtraction as well, if we were doing minus g of x, that would work as well. At least in the case of that and composition, uniform continuity is preserved. In the case of multiplication and division, not necessarily. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and be sure to check out my real analysis course and real analysis exercises playlists in the description for more.